Hello everybody, I am Inverse and you are watching another Company of Heroes replay commentary. Today we got a game between the Panzer Elite player Elmo and the American player House of Death. House of Death, of course, the game replays Company of Heroes senior strategy specialist right now. This game was actually requested in the game replays Company of Heroes general discussion by Elmo, who is a long-time Company of Heroes player. This game's actually about a year and a half old. It was played July 2009, just to give you a sense of how old this game is. Elmo, a very good Panzer Elite player, fairly high ranking. I can't remember exactly how high he's gotten, but he's gotten pretty high up there in the leaderboards. Goes by, I think it's Salea or something. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. On Company of Heroes right now was Dirty Elmo back when this game was played, hence the name. And he will be playing Panzer Elite. House of Death playing American. Standard opening, getting the rifle squad, 2 engineers. Elmo, House of Death is sick of playing high-ranked people. House of Death is a wussy. I'm kidding, I love House of Death. 1 Kettenkrad start for Elmo, probably going to go 5 Panzer Grenadiers, fairly popular, fairly powerful. Sometimes you can go 2 Kettenkrads, usually not on this map since it's fairly small, and these 2 fuels, this one and this one, are fairly close together. And a Panzer Elite player, if they can control 2 of the fuels for the majority of the game, they're going to be in a pretty good position. As the American player, especially on Longra, your goal should be to hold 1 fuel. For example, starting south, that fuel easy to hold, and then harass between this fuel down here that is being capped, and House of Death going to cap and retreat, good idea, and harass between these 2 fuels right here. Also, a good thing to note, you always want to decap the fuel points even if you can't cap it fully. Ooh, cap it, Kettenkrad, you want to cap it, because it takes Panzer Elite a very long time to cap. Kettenkrads cap at 1 times speed, and Panzer Grenadiers are 0.75 until they get Field Craft, I think is the upgrade. That gives them better capping speed. And I'm going to pause this game and lower my in-game sound because I am deafening myself and am probably going to be deafening people in the video. There we go. Alright, Kettenkrad recapping this point right here. House of Death is not going to want to fight all these PGs in cover. Very good job by Elmo keeping his PGs in the green cover right there. House of Death instead going to circle around, secure the left-hand side. Elmo being fairly aggressive. This is how you want to play Panzer Elite, especially in the early games, to always keep your Grens, your Panzer Grenadiers together. They have incredibly high DPS when grouped together like this, and they're not very good harassing units. You want to be capping with your Kettenkrad and keeping your opponent occupied and dealing manpower damage with the Panzer Grenadiers. Elmo at this point pretty comfortable, I think, with his resources, his map control right now. Stopping, it looks like, at... Nope, there's the 5th PG, so going 5 Panzer Grenadiers start against House of Deaths. If we open up the tactical map, 3 rifles, 2 engineers, no flamers yet. Probably going to want to get 1 flamer. Usually a good idea to get 1 flamer and then either a minesweeper or some mines. Of course, you always want to have 50 munitions in the bank for the M8 upgrade, because regardless of what you do, you're going to want an M8 against the Panzer Elite, and when you get that M8, you're going to want to upgrade it with armored skirts, because if you don't, it's going to die incredibly quickly. Minesweeper is good if you think your opponent has gone tank destroyer. There's actually a little trick you can do by looking at the back of the Kettenkrad. Right here in this little seat, stuff will be added to it, like the skin will change if, depending on what I think they're doctrines, your opponent has selected. This is an interesting idea by House of Death to be engaging here. Ooh, he is going fast bars. You don't really see fast bars very often. You do see him a little bit in this patch. Yeah, engineer's gonna have to retreat. You do see him a little bit in this patch because they're fairly powerful and because it's very difficult, even if the Panzer Elite player goes fast, oh, there's the flamer, as I was saying. Even if the Panzer Elite player goes fast, fast armored cars, it's going to be... Bars do a lot of damage to armored cars, funny enough. This engineer's going to want to retreat before it dies. Yeah, it's going to get out of there fine. Incendiary grenades being tech 2 by Elmo. Interesting early infantry strategy. It's going to work out pretty well for him because House of Death did go for that fast bar upgrade and is now getting a triage center. I'd be curious to see if he was getting the incendiary grenades before or after he saw the bars. He also got defensive operations, very, very key against bars. You don't want low health PGs up against barred riflemen. And I think someone posted on my channel that they're upset that I said bars instead of BARs. I do know it's not actually called a bar, it's an acronym, but I'm going to call it bars because it's a lot easier than saying BARs all the time. And saying BARs makes me sound like a complete idiot. So anyways, just to get out of the way, going tier 1, probably going to go tier 3 right afterwards. You don't really see, actually you do see tier 1, tier 4. Is that tier 4? Yes. Panzer support is tier 4. So he's going tier 1, tier 4, and that is going to give him access to the Panzer IV infantry support tank, which he's probably going to fast tech to, considering all this infantry, or all this fuel House of Death has spent on infantry, and the fact that despite the bars and the triage center, they haven't really done much for House of Death at this point in the game. Elmo does have the entirety of the right-hand side. He has, I should probably watch this engagement, shouldn't I? He has 4 Grens, 3 of them with G43s. That's usually a good hint that your opponent's not going to be going tier 3. And mass retreat by Elmo, good idea. Bars and flamers. Flamers just ridiculous against PE right now. I think they're getting changed up a little bit in the beta patch. That will soon be the retail patch. But yeah, you don't want to be fighting flamers, especially 2 of them with a huge clumped up group of grenadiers. So good early retreat, going to save a lot of manpower because Panzer Grenadier is very expensive to reinforce. And look at this by House of Death, very, very good harassment. He's going to want to retreat this squad probably, which is unfortunate. And if he doesn't, he's probably going to die. Yeah, he's going to retreat out of there. Great harassment by House of Death, just taking advantage of the superior capping speed of the American forces. Going to decap this cutoff right here, decap this fuel. Probably going to get a decap on this before the PGs come. Going to cap this and then move the heck away. And what is he getting? No, he's getting an AT half-track. Very interesting decision. I personally would have, I mean, I am watching from the perspective of an observer, so I do know that House of Death does not even have his supply yard up, and so will not be building any sort of vehicles anytime soon, making that AT half-track kind of useless for a good portion of the game. So I would have gone for the Panzer Command upgrade, I think it is, which gives you, ooh, nice incendiary grenade. Panzer Support Command upgrade or something, I can't remember what it's called, gives you access to the Panzer IV infantry support tank, which is incredibly powerful. Very difficult for an American player to counter. You need stickies and good AT gun micro. Of course, House of Death only just now getting supply yard. And what is this AT half-track doing? A little bit of missed micro by Elmo. It issued a move order instead of an attack move order. Always something you want to keep in mind. It's usually a good idea. It's not so much a good idea for riflemen because, oh, this kitten is in a lot of trouble. Is he? I don't think he's decided on a doctrine yet. 2 CPs. It's usually a bad, oh, slow and retreat. That's also lame, and hopefully, I think this better be getting fixed as well. I really don't know, and can't really remember or recall the change log for the new patch. But yeah, you usually want to, with units that work best at long ranges, so like Pumas, of course AT half-tracks, I mean even Volksgrenadiers, you want to be attack moving with them a lot more than you're attacking with them. This especially goes for snipers, because moving with a sniper is just asking to forget to pay attention to the sniper and then bam, he's dead, which is always very unfortunate because you walk him into enemy territory or something and then you try to retreat and bars cut him down. He's also going tier 3 back teching, so he will not be going for the Panzer IVs, will instead be getting probably a pair of armored cars. Interesting choice. Motor pool coming up now for House of Death. So interesting. His fast bars is not really going to be punished at all. There you see the first armored car coming out. Probably going to queue up another one right away. Also getting I believe that is the 4-man squad upgrade for Panzer Grenadiers. Probably should have gotten that a little bit earlier, at least in my opinion. 4-man squad's really essential to countering bars, because it gives you, increases your firepower by, I guess it's effectively 33%. Of course, because you're adding one person. Very useful. Important thing to note is, if you're planning on building more Panzer Grenadiers, do not build them. Oh man, these squads getting cut down. Do not build the extra Panzer Grenadier squads until you get the 4-man squads upgrade, if you're planning on getting it, or if it's on the way, because Panzer Grenadiers are incredibly expensive to reinforce, and a Panzer Grenadier costs the same regardless of how many people it spawns with. And if you build a Panzer Grenadier and it spawns before you upgraded the, 4-man squads upgrade, then oh no, you have to reinforce that squad, and it costs manpower and time. Very annoying. You don't want to have to do that. But if you wait, it's like, wow, you get a free man, and that's a lot better. So armored car, and maybe going to kill an engineer. AT gun on the field for House of Death. Gonna have to micro that fairly well. I do not believe he has stickies. He might have stickies. Also has a mine right here. Only one mine on the field, however, I believe is, oh man, if the armored car hits that. Armored car, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't take the roads. Uh-oh. Nope. Yes? No? Nope. He's gonna skirt right by that, and probably not going to get this. Oh no. AT gun just positioned armored car moving in just outside of the AT gun's arc. That was unfortunate for House of Death. No supplier upgrade for House of Death yet. The early triage center really helping him out in these infantry battles, keeping his riflemen in tip-top shape. Meanwhile, on Elmo's side, 4 G43s, 1 squad with nothing. Ooh, grenades for House of Death as well. So House of Death pulling out all of the infantry upgrade punches. Usually something you don't see so much in USA versus Panzer Elite matches. You usually see American players go for the fast M8, usually get 2 M8s, 2 AT guns, then tech to bars, triage, all that fun stuff. And the reason for that is, it's just, wow, this AT half-track is sniping this rifle, and it's not going to die though, unfortunately. The armored car also getting very lucky. I completely, House of Death not happy about that. I completely lost my train of thought there. Something about how something, oh yeah, fast M8. People usually go fast M8 because fast M8 counters pretty much everything a Panzer Elite player can do. This, yeah, PG's gonna run away. Focus firing the Flamer, good idea, force it to retreat, but this squad's very low health. He's gonna have to back up, try to back up in the armored car. Gonna have to be careful to keep that armored car in the back. Don't want it to die. Panzer Grenadiers also repair at a ridiculously slow pace, so I would not be surprised if he went, yes, he did go Luftwaffe. I totally did not look at that before I was about to say I hope he goes Luftwaffe. So yeah, I totally called that, except not really. He's getting Fallschirmjägers. Fallschirmjägers, I can't do the ridiculous German accent. Fallschirmjäger. Not even going to try. Probably going to get FG-42s. FG-42, possibly one of the strongest anti-infantry weapons in the game. It's one of the top 3, other 2 being the SDG-44s that Storms and PGs get, and the Thompson submachine guns that Rangers get. Oh, and House of Death is going strafe, and that was ridiculous. That was an absolutely insane strafe. 2 squads down to 1 man. I believe he killed 1 squad. Yep, killed 1 PG. These falls are going to have to run out of there. And Elmo's going to want to get some Luftwaffe ground forces. There's the M8. He's going to want to get Luftwaffe ground forces just to repair this armored car. Going to want to run the armored car away as well now that the M8 is on the field. I mean, 1 shell from the M8 is going to be able to kill that armored car, and that's not going to be very good for Elmo. As you can see, 4-man squads have been up for a while. Now repairing that armored car with the Panzer Grenadier, usually not an ideal situation. You want to get Fallschirmjäger or Luftwaffe ground forces for that. And I was going to mention before, but got sidetracked. If you see your opponent building a lot of G43s, usually a good idea. They're going to be rushing tier 4 instead of going for some sort of super fast tier 3. I mean, they might back tech to tier 3 like Elmo did in this case, but the reason for that is if you're going tier 3 right off the bat, you want to survive for as long as possible without any upgrades on your Panzer Grenadiers, because once you hit tier 3, you can upgrade MP44s, and MP44s are absolutely insane. Probably the strongest anti-infantry weapon outside of the 3 I mentioned before. And I don't want to. I hate Airborne. Yes, Airborne, kind of terrible. Good against Panzer Elite, though. Terrible, terrible, terrible against Wehrmacht. Anyways, yeah, you are going to want to, as a Panzer Elite player, and you're going to want to pay attention to, oh my goodness, Miss Micro, House of Death, what the heck are you doing? You're going to want to pay attention to the number of G43s your opponent has. Very, very, very good use right here of oh no, immobilizes the M8. And this M8 is going to be in a lot of trouble. Probably going to focus down the repairing engineer. Focus. Shoot the engineer. Shoot the engineer. Kill him. Kill him. I was just going to throw... Oh, AT grenades too. Man, Elmo busting all the stops here. Every single thing in the Panzer Elite arsenal. Also managing to dodge mines left, right, and center. Very, very, very interesting play by Elmo. Not really something you see in Panzer Elite play right now. Just goes to show you how much the metagame has shifted in the year and a half that 2.6 has been out. This is replay actually from 2.600, not 2.601. Of course, 2.601 didn't really change anything. It's like some ridiculous Panzerkrieg mode fixes that nobody cared about. Gonna try to throw a grenade. If not, he should run. Nah, he's gonna run. Slow down retreat, and the armored car gonna try to chase him down. Don't think he's gonna be able to kill him. I'd be surprised. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to. Bet one. Yes. Slowing on retreat is very, very lame. I didn't want to. Touché. Anyways, yeah, man, I am just getting sidetracked left, right, and center right here. Oh no. Oh, that one armored car hits a mine running back to get repaired by these 2 Panzer Grenadiers and blows up. Elmo also stealing an AT gun. AT gun's very good against M8's. House of Death building another one, but forgetting to set a rally point. But he figured that out soon enough. Good job using this M8 for cover. Elmo, at this point, what's he getting? He's getting another armored car, so he's going to replace the one he built right now. No FG-42s just yet, which is interesting. He doesn't really have the munitions for it, however. Really been spamming incendiary grenades. Probably going to want to throw another one right here. Problem with incendiary grenades is they have a ridiculously high, yep, there's the other incendiary grenade. Kind of misses, however, which is unfortunate, but he's probably going to be able to win this engagement regardless. Throwing another one. Incendiary grenades have an insanely long recharge rate, reload time, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, lots of bet to attack infantry or offensive infantry on these PGs. But yeah, you really want to be frugal with your incendiary grenade usage and use it when you really, really need it, or when you really think it's going to do a lot of damage, because if you just waste them, you have to wait a ridiculously long time. And I don't really know exactly how long the recharge rate is. I do know it's sped up if you're near a munitions half track or in your base sector, which is right here. But that's true of all Panzer Elite abilities and health as well. What is going on? I really don't know. House of Death in kind of a difficult spot. I really don't think he's had the upper hand once this entire game. He kind of misplayed his early bars, did not really get much utility out of them. He got his motor pool extremely late and got an AT gun first, which ended up being the smart thing to do. Armored car hits a mine, unfortunate. Probably not in the cone of fire. No, not in the cone of fire of the AT gun, which is unfortunate for House of Death. Another incendiary grenade going off, kind of going to miss. However, still only 4 PGs, all of them with G43s. Going to charge this AT gun, going to try to decrew it. Probably going to turn focus to... Oh, grenade comes out. Good dodge by Elmo. Oh, no. Does manage to kill two Panzer Grenadiers, which is unfortunate. Hopefully the other one does not get sniped. Wow, lots of bars coming in. Wow. So, yeah, House of Death going to be able to keep his AT gun for the time being. Might even want to send it back to the triage center to get a little heal off. Get a little... heal health increase, considering it's at 3 men and about a third health right now. Not really sure what Elmo is planning to do tech-wise right now. He seems to be really bogged down in reinforcing, attacking, trying to keep his units up on the field. Oh man, was that the AT gun? I think no, that wasn't the AT gun. One of these rifles has a light vehicle. It's this one, I think, unless that was the Ketten. Yep, light vehicle. Lots of them have light vehicles, 2 of them. So who knows? Another strafe goes down, and that squad's going to get out of there. All right. This AT gun going to be in trouble. Kind of miscontrol by Elmo, not backing that up in time. Luftwaffe ground forces. Behind green cover, Luftwaffe ground forces. Kind of terrible damage, however. 2 grenades going in, demolishing the green cover. Not really doing too much damage to the Luftwaffe ground forces, however, only killing 1 man. They're going to be able to heal. And Elmo very low on manpower right now. Sticky bomb also going off on the AT half track. Not really going to do much. Kind of a waste of munitions because he doesn't really have anything to follow it up with. His AT gun way far behind. Not really microing it up very much. Slowing a rifle squad on retreat, and he's probably going to be able to kill it. I assume he's going to be able to. No, maybe not. Don't prove me wrong. He's going to survive. Very interesting that he managed to survive there. And why is he still slowed? Huh. There we go. No more slow, and he's going to live. Very lucky rifle squad. Very back and forth game. I still think Elmo does have the upper hand right here. I mean, he has lost two armored cars, which is really hurting House of Death. However, he has been gaining a lot of valuable veterancy on Panzer Elite. Very useful to counteract the American late game veterancy, which is extremely powerful, in which House of Death really doing a good job of racking up. 1 squad vet 5, 2 squads vet 2, or vet 1, no, 1 squad vet 5. Wow, 1 squad vet 2, 2 squads vet 1, 3 squads vet 1, even a vet 1 engineer, and he also has the first supplier upgrade, so that's going to increase the rate at which he gains vet even further than the sticky bombs and bars do. Of course, grenades don't actually increase the rate at which you gain vet. It just seems like it because you kill a whole lot of stuff with grenades. Yeah. Kind of interesting that House of Death, I don't really want to look at how much fuel he has because that would entail me losing the tactical map. And wow, if he loses this vet 2 squad, slowed, he's gonna get away. Very lucky by House of Death not to lose that squad. That would have been a fairly devastating blow. Losing a vet 2 rifle this late in the game would have taken forever to get the veterancy back on that, even with the vet bonuses. I'm kind of interested to see why House of Death has not elected to get a tank depot. I know personally I love tank depot against Panzer Elite. They really need a Panther battle group. Ooh, getting a Wirbelwind. A Wirbelwind Flakpanzer. They really need a Panther battle group to counter most things out of the tank depot if you support it with infantry and anti-tank guns. Just because Shermans take a whole heck of a lot of damage. They do take a lot of damage from Panzerschrecks, and Panzerschrecks have fairly high accuracy against Shermans, whereas in retail right now, Panzerschrecks have absolutely terrible accuracy against M8s, especially moving M8s, which is why if you're microing an M8 against an opponent who has Panzerschrecks, always keep it moving back and forth. Even if you're moving him forward and then backward, just keep him moving, because as long as you are moving, you're getting that received accuracy bonus. And that strafe didn't do... I think it was a strafe. No? Yeah? I hear the plane, but I don't see... Yeah, I guess it was a strafe. You really want that. Whoa, no, that one. Lose. That really sucks. And, whoa, someone's talking to me on Skype. Bam! Deafened. Anyways, Elmo, pretty good spot right now. AT half-track, AT gun, pretty good for the AT. AT gun really going to help out against any sort of Shermans, anything like that, that House of Death might want to throw at him. Very nice play with the Flak Panzer right now. However, this Vet 2 rifle squad is probably going to be able to get a sticky off. Yep, there we go. Increased sticky bomb range with Vet 2. Very, very useful, and I think this is going to be a doomed Ostwind. House of Death trying to... Wow. Questionable micro by House of Death at this point. Keeps trying to anticipate where Elmo's going to move his Whirlwind, but when you anticipate that much in advance, you kind of aren't going to anticipate correctly, and finally does knock it out of control. Also managing to kill the 30 cal heavy machine gun crew. Don't think he'll recrew it, but that'd be kind of funny if he did. Going to kill another AT gun. Probably going to want to recrew it or throw AT grenades at it. One or the other. Either way, does not want to let House of Death... Yep, he's going to recrew it. Does not want to let House of Death recrew that himself, because recrewing a AT gun is... What is it? 27, 56, 83... No, not 56. 27, 54, 81 manpower. So it costs House of Death 81 manpower to reinforce... to recrew a AT gun and then reinforce the rifle squad he recruited from. If he has to build another AT gun, that's 280 manpower and an incredibly long build time, because he did go airborne, so he does not have fast deployment. So and I mean, Elmo gets a free AT gun out of the deal as well. Definitely a good idea. Lots of vet on House of Death's part. Good use of slow selectively on the engineer. However, does not manage to... Oh, he did recruit the MG as well. That is a very awesome move. I do like that. He would really like to have that Whirlwind right now. I mean, kind of careless move, sending it all the way up here and losing it. AT guns, shooting AT guns, not really doing much. House of Death really not microing his AT guns very well. Did get another 30 cal, probably crewed it up the ground, or off the ground rather, from the supplier drops. Really needs to pay a bit more attention to his AT gun. Lost a lot of health. Oh, might actually lose the gun if this AT gun gets one lucky shot off. Now he misses. However, the armored car is probably going to be able to kill it. House of Death really low on units right now. 3 rifles, a engineer, and soon to be no AT gun. No, shoot the AT gun. Focus. Oh no. Oh, yep. Wow, something killed that AT gun. I really don't know what it was. I guess it was the armored car. Maybe the auxiliary MG on the hull perhaps killed it. But anyways, House of Death. He's holding on. I mean, he is holding on to a decent amount of map control. However, he really does not have the tech that Elmo does at this point. I mean, Elmo can literally do whatever the heck he wants, and he is going to be perfectly fine. Ooh, strafe going off. Killing that MG. Not really too big of a deal for... Wow, 3 kills. Huh. And something a lot of players don't do, oh, this squad's probably gonna die. Vet 3 rifle squad, yay. But something a lot of players don't do is using the focus fire ability on the AT half-track. Look at this AT half-track right now. 25 infantry kills. Sniping this MG. Probably going to take out the MG. Unless House of Death retreats it. Yep, House of Death going to get out of there just in time. However, look at this. 26 infantry kills on that AT half-track. Getting a flak 88. So this is when it becomes tricky for an American player. Letting a Luftwaffe player get a solidly positioned flak 88 when you have a lot of anti-infantry, a lot of just infantry in general, because you've been preserving your squads, even with strafe, which is difficult to do. Strafe makes it very difficult to... Yeah, Elmo not very happy about the strafes, but hey, whatever. Strafes are strafes. I really do not think Airborne is the best doctrine against Panzer Elite. My personal favorite is Armor. I really like my Calliopes. But if he crews this, he's going to give up a Luftwaffe squad to crew an MG. I really don't agree with that. I don't know why he did it. I mean, I guess he thinks he needs some sort of suppression to hold off the infantry charging his Flak 88. However, I mean, he's got a decent amount. A lot of it is reinforcing. However, another interesting thing to note is that although House of Death does not have one, an AT gun does ridiculous damage to Flak 88s. It has some insane damage modifiers that makes it incredibly effective. Throwing 2 grenades on, they're probably going to decrew it, yeah. But going to be able to recrew it, no problemo. MG hopping in here. Probably going to want to hop this MG out and retreat it just so it can heal up. Weapon crews are fairly expensive. I mean, this is Luftwaffe. And an interesting thing to note, I know a lot of people know this, but I'm going to say it anyways. If you recrew a weapon team with, like, say, a rifle or a Panzer Grenadier, the reinforced costs become the reinforced costs of the squad you recruit it with. So if you recruit, say, an MG with a rifle squad, it'll cost 27 manpower every time you want to reinforce that, or that MG rather, and that is the same, of course, as the rifle. If you reinforce with Panzer Grenadiers, it costs something like 45 manpower, I think, because 45 manpower is the amount of manpower that a Panzer Grenadier costs to reinforce. Just a little interesting fact. Anyways, House of Death, looking at the tactical map right now, does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rifles. However, I'm willing to bet 2 of them don't have vet. Here's one, gonna survive barely, but without vet. This one only vet 1. This one no vet. So House of Death been spending his manpower, interestingly enough, on rifle squads. Does have 2 of them now. As I was saying before, this is a very, very tricky spot for House of Death. At this point, I really don't think he can come back. I mean, it is possible. He has had this fuel for a while. He has had a VP, so the VPs have not ticked down too much. I mean, it is 177 right now in his opponent's favor, of course. But thinking about House of Death's options right now, I mean, it's a little late at this point for Tank Depot. Tank Depot would be a fairly terrible decision unless he could somehow take out this flak and recrew it without his opponent recrewing it, and at the same time send in like 2 Sherwins. But he does not have that sort of time. He's going to go in and decrew the flak once again, and he might even try to recrew it. No? He's just going to run right by, going to try to throw a grenade in this house. Does not want to lose that Vet 3. Oh, nice grenade by that Vet 3 rifle squad, killing a lot of those Luftwaffe squads and Panzer Grenadiers behind. Now, this is a very good idea by Elmo. This forward HQ allows him to reinforce, of course. It also gives him healing in, I think it's this entire sector. So if we look at the mini-map, this entire +10 right here, any Panzer Elite units in there, any infantry units, are going to receive passive healing. I don't believe it's the same rate of healing as the headquarters sector, but it is fairly substantial. Now, where's that MG? There's the MG. That MG is in a lot of trouble. But yeah, House of Death's options. Nice grenade there, by the way, but it's slowed and probably going to die on retreat. Yep. Squad dies. And with that, I'm guessing House of Death is not going to last too much longer. House of Death's options, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by House of Death's offensive. House of Death, oh, not going to be able to kill it. House of Death could have gone Tank Depot, but could have gone Tank Depot a whole heck of a lot earlier. I do not know how much fuel he has, but I'm going to speculate that is a fairly large amount, considering he has been dropping supply drops in order to strafe spam. I didn't want to. And Elmo being a little bit of a jerk, but hey, when you get strafed as a Panzer Elite player, I suppose anything's fair game. Anyways, House of Death could have gone for that Tank Depot. Really would have helped him out earlier in the game. Not so much right now because, of course, he has a Flak 88. Could have gone Weapon Support Center, another tech path that House of Death could have gone. Of course, at this point, Elmo, just a ridiculous amount of infantry. Looking 1, 2, 3, 4 Panzer Grenadiers, a lot of them with vet.
He's got the Fallschirmjäger squad, does not have FG-42s, of course, been keeping his munitions down extremely well. Might even be dropping butterfly bombs, however butterfly bombs are incredibly expensive. Another strafe going in, doesn't really do much, just suppresses. And this Flak 88 going to be decrewed again. This AT half-track though, man, 30 infantry kills. Almost twice as many as the armored car. Kind of funny, and this is kind of looking like House of Death's last offensive. Kind of throwing all his units at the enemy, hoping it's going to work. He knows there's an MG in there, doesn't really care, just wants to brute force his way through it, and that is not going to work at this stage in the game. As I was saying before, I'm going to try to cut myself off less now. Good job repairing this. Weapon Support Center. Could have gotten a Weapon Support Center. Could have been very useful. A couple snipers, always good against Panzer Elite, especially before they get the four-man upgrade, the four-man squad upgrade, and I agree with House of Death. Airborne, not very good against Panzer Elite. But, yes, whoa, man. Flak 88, sniping. Anyways, what was I saying? Weapon Support Center. My goodness, I am cutting myself off. Weapon Support Center. Could have been excellent because snipers, of course, very good against the low squad size of Panzer Grenadiers. Even once they get that four-man squad upgrade, Panzer Grenadiers, extremely low squad size. I mean, they are Grens, and Grens are considered low enough to be effectively countered by snipers. So, and Panzer Grenadiers cost a lot more than Grenadiers do to reinforce. But of course, now that Elmo has Luftwaffe, he's had Luftwaffe for a very long time. Also getting Group Zeal, good defense against the strafe. Probably should have gotten it a little bit earlier, just because it's so useful. But as I was saying, Weapon Support Center kind of negated by cloaked Kettons. You can, ooh man, that's not going to die. That sucks. These squads, however, are going to die. Nope. Very lucky. But, yep. Cloak Kettons kind of counter entirely Weapon Support Centers because Cloak Kettons can... Oh my goodness. What did that kill? 4 men on a rifle squad. That is insane. Butterfly bombs. Very effective. You see them littered all around here. I think. No, maybe. There's a butterfly bomb. Yep, there we go. The only 2 that haven't exploded right there. But yeah, I'm going to finish this thought if it kills me. Weapon Support Center countered by Cloak Kettons because Cloak Kettons can flank around, reveal your snipers, reveal your MGs and mortars, so your opponent knows how to counter them. Mortars extremely easy to counter with a mortar half-track because a mortar doesn't really counter a vehicle, whereas a mortar on a vehicle definitely counters a stationary mortar. And the mortar half-track also counters MGs if MGs become too much of a problem. So not only leaves the sniper. Of course, armored cars actually have a broken detect radius in this game right now because they mixed up the armored car detect radius with the, I believe it was the scout car detect radius. So I think they're the same, either that or they were like flip-flopped and the scout car doesn't detect at all, making it even more useless than it currently is, whereas the armored car detects at like some ridiculous range, making it even more useful than it already is. So that is fixed in the new patch that will be coming out hopefully sooner rather than later. I know the final beta release will be coming out this week, I think, if it isn't out already. And yeah, House of Death looking pretty dead right now. Kind of suiciding rifles, trying to gain VPs. But Elmo doing a really good job, not only preserving his squads and not losing squads like House of Death is probably... No, House of Death isn't going to do that, but he's not only doing a good job of preserving his squads, which is something you really want to do, but he's doing a good job of preserving his men and winning the manpower war. This HQ, forward HQ, is really doing a good job of it. The early defensive operations, a very smart call in that regard, just in order to give him a bit more breathing room. And look at all these butterfly bombs. Let me see. Butterfly bombs. Lots of butterfly bombs. Yep. But really good job, just because it's one thing to not lose squads, it's another thing to not lose men. in a squad. Good little grenade dodge right there. Bad grenade toss by those rifles. It's one thing to lose men in a squad and another thing to lose entire squads. It's fairly easy, I mean, relatively speaking. Once you get to a high enough level, which these two players are both fairly high level players, House of Death, of course, in the top 10, I believe now, of the American ladder, just some obscene number of games played. It becomes fairly routine to keep squads alive and not lose entire squads, because that's just the kind of mistake that can lose you a game right off the bat. It's a whole other deal to actually make effective use of your squads and to not lose so much manpower that you actually lose the manpower war, because that is really what Company of Heroes is about. Sure, you need fuel early game and Panzer Elite and Americans early game, early first 15 minutes until the first tech's out is really a tech race. See who can get their tech up. Usually the M8 versus the AT half-track, who can get that out, maybe even an armored car in there. Ended my 20 game streak. Aw, sad panda. Anyways, pretty good game here. But yeah, after that initial tech race, it really comes down to a manpower war. Panzer Elite are a very fragile faction in that sense, because all of their squads, all of their units are very fragile, very easy to kill, deal a lot of damage, but are also very expensive. Panzer Grenadiers, 255 manpower for a 3-man squad, eventually a 4-man squad, which makes them a little bit better. Reinforcing, I believe it's 45 manpower. If I catch a squad running away, I'll try and see if I can see how much it actually costs. I don't really play Panzer Elite, but yeah. Panzer Elite units, very expensive. American units, hey, there's a Cloak Ketton. Yay, Cloak Ketton running around. Gonna get spotted and probably killed right now, however, which is unfortunate. Armored car running away. But yeah, really comes down to a manpower war. I mean, every matchup in this game really does come down to a manpower war, because manpower is really the only fixed or resource with a fairly fixed income rate. You know relatively how much you're going to get every game. I mean, it increases with time, but it doesn't really increase relative to your opponent, because your opponent's going to have about the same amount. I mean, of course, it does vary from faction to faction, but I mean, in general, that's kind of the rule. So it really comes down to how you use your manpower, how you drain your opponent's manpower, how effectively you do that. You really want to, I mean, that's why snipers are so effective, because they're guaranteed manpower sink for as long as, oh man, Bars killed that squad. Yep, 2 light vehicles, because snipers pretty much guaranteed to drain opponent's manpower just because of the one-shot, one-kill kind of thing. Vehicles also a very good way of draining manpower, because they are essentially free after their initial purchase cost. I mean, there is a slight manpower cost, manpower drain associated with repairing, but it's so slight that you don't even notice it. And I mean, compared to the actual, the actual price of the vehicle, I mean, it's pretty much inconsequential. It doesn't really matter in the least bit. What's he dropping? Is he gonna drop butterfly bombs? Yay! He's probably just waiting to throw a satchel, which is gonna be funny. There's gonna be one big explosion, then the game is going to end. No? Nah, that sucks. That would've been fun to see. But yeah, this is looking like going to be GG. Good play by Elmo. I hope he enjoys this shoutcast as much as I hope the rest of you, dearest viewers, enjoy this shoutcast. One more thing for me to say before I actually leave is that I am streaming on Justin TV. I did mention before that I will be saving broadcasts. They will all be on Justin TV right now. I will be posting a link in the description of this. Be streaming pretty much daily whenever I find time to play, hour and a half at a time. I'll be dating and saving all the recorded broadcasts and posting them on there, so you can go check out any old broadcasts if you are into that sort of thing. And if you like it, follow. And yeah, it'll encourage me to stream more, because playing doesn't encourage me at all. Anyways, bye.